back to my channel. This is Astro Medicine and I'm back with your moon update. We're talking about the Cancer new moon / solar eclipse that's taking place on July 2nd, tomorrow. If you're watching it today, then it's today, whatever you do. And this moon is really soft. It is really feminine. So a lot of us are feeling more in our emotions, that's for sure. Whenever we have a solar eclipse in general, it just feels like a full moon. Feels like a straight on full moon. So I appreciate all of you for watching my video and taking the time to listen and to dive deep with me here today, right now on planet Earth, and discuss further the energy that a lot of us might be experiencing as a collective or just maybe individual. We have a solar eclipse. The solar eclipse is a time when the sun and the moon are in the same position where it blocks out the light that comes through. So this is almost a period of time where the darkness is overshadowing. And for most of us, and on a spiritual level, this really means that a lot of people's darkness and shadows are coming to the surface, or just a lot of people's emotions are rising up to the surface. Especially with this right now being an emotional time, it's going to happen. It's bound to happen one way or another. This can be anger for some. This could be a lot of sadness, deep hurt. Anything that's coming up and rising to the surface needs to be dealt with, needs to be healed, and hopefully it's not projected onto others, because we do have this Pluto and moon in opposition. So whenever we have the planet of Pluto being in opposition with the moon, it's going to be some triggering aspects. It's going to be some experiences where people are going to be triggered. Some deep pain that's been under the surface is going to be rising to the surface. This might be in conflict with other people. This could just be realizations about yourself, about the way that you grew up. This is a lot of childhood trauma for some people. And this can also be related to familyhood. You know, how are things back at your family? How is your connection with your mother? A lot of these things are cancer-related things. Cancer is also related to self-care. So right now we're focusing on better ways to self-care, better ways to let go of attachments. We're asking ourselves deep questions that have to do with giving too much energy to others, loving and nurturing too much of others, overprotection. All of these themes are not allowing us to fully embody our self-care and our self-love. All of these things are hindering us from nurturing our soul fully and really getting what it is that we desire as, you know, as an individual. So the solar eclipse for a lot of us is bringing up those issues to the surface for us to work on them, for us to heal them and recognize them, so that we can become in better alignment with our purpose, with who we are, and especially our emotional authentic self. So expressing our emotions, expressing the way that it is that we feel, is almost a self-care technique, because we're allowing ourselves to become free. We're allowing ourselves to express and become a channel of that energy and motion to manifest in the way that it deserves to be manifested, in a healthy way. So this could be creative outlets. This could be nurturing our friends. This could be taking care of someone in a way that we cook for them or we do things for them. All of these things are using our nourishing and creative emotional energy for the betterment, and not having to sacrifice our own self, or even for some people play the victim of giving too much and not receiving. That is also a Cancer attribute. It's giving too much, not receiving, having expectations, playing victimhood, and holding on to those emotions so much that you bite your tongue and you don't say anything, and it becomes rumbled up in your system, to where a lot of times this is physical ailments for some people. Right now, more than anything, because we have Jupiter in Scorpio and it is aspecting the moon and the sun, we are experiencing a lot of trauma coming to the surface that needs to be dealt with. And if you're watching my channel, then you've been dealing with a lot and you've been healing a lot. If you're new to my channel, then just pay attention to those little things that might be coming up to the surface that the universe is asking you to pay a closer awareness to. I even pulled the awareness card today. Anyways, once we do pay attention to these traumas that might be coming or these feelings that come up to the surface, we're giving ourselves this emotional freedom. And we're allowing ourselves to become the observer of what's really taking place within our emotional body and our spiritual journey instead of reacting, instead of coping in a negative way through drugs, through partying, through anything, projecting onto others, anything that is detrimental to our emotional self and that is not nourishing needs to go. Definitely needs to go, because this is Cancer season and we're getting in tune with our feminine energy. And if you are in a relationship right now that is not allowing you to be your full self, and that is not allowing you to have the time to nurture your emotional energy and your emotional self, then that is also going to be brought to the surface to where you can realize that, to where you can have awareness of that. Whenever we do have a new moon, it's a new start, it's a new beginning. And also when we have when we are in a season of the cardinal energy of this starting fresh beginning energy, of this initiation energy that Cancer is, it's also a new beginning. We just had the summer solstice. This is a whole new season. And so this new moon is allowing us to freshen up, to love ourselves, to nourish ourselves, to own our body, and to own our lunar self. So with this full moon, it's different for a lot of people because you need to look at where specifically Cancer is in your chart, but you also need to look at where you have the moon, because the moon is represented by Cancer, the sign of Cancer. It's allowing for us to step into our emotional self. It's allowing for us to step into our emotional body, and our emotional self is our moon sign. So how are you portraying your emotional self? How are you showing up as your moon sign, not your sun sign? That's Leo season. We're talking about the moon sign. So how are you showing up as your moon sign in a healthy way? And also, where is this Cancer energy being triggered within your chart? It could be your 10th house. It could be your 4th house. A lot of us are experiencing family trauma that's arriving to the surface. And it's allowing us to understand the way things have manifested and why they've manifested for us or maybe some family members. And also we're allowing for us to let go of these attachments, or we're allowing ourselves to not be the victim of what happened to us in our past, and to no longer let it serve as entitlement of who we are, of our identity and what we've been through. A solar eclipse is really a powerful time for us to come into a deeper understanding of the way things and why the way things happened and the way that they did, and really give us some closure after all this crazy energy goes away. So I also want to talk about Venus and this grand Earth trine that we're going to be having. Venus is in Virgo. We have Uranus still in Taurus, and we also have Saturn in Capricorn. So anytime we do have, Uranus and Taurus, it's going to provoke a lot of change. It's going to provoke a lot of change in the way that we care for ourselves, the way that we feel about ourselves, our self-value, our self-worth. It brings dramatic change. Most of all, it brings change to the house that it's in. So look where Uranus is in your chart to see where this dramatic change is occurring as well. We have it in grand trine, which means that there's 3 planets and 3 earth signs. So we have Venus and Virgo, just went in there. It'll be in Libra here soon. And whenever it's in Virgo, it's really asking us to accept a lot of the people that we're around, accept the relationships that you're in, because we can be very nitpicky sometimes, us Virgos. We can be so critical, judgmental. And so Venus and Virgo is like Where do you need to be more accepting and less judgmental in your relationships, or maybe even of yourself, to where you can have better and more conscious relationships? And having that in a grand trine with Uranus really depends, like I said, where it is in your house. Uh, will show you how this energy is kind of manifesting along with Saturn and Capricorn. When we have this energy, it's like you need to do the work. Like there's no ifs, ands, and buts. You have all of these things on your to-do list. You need to just put in the work and heal. There's no going around it anymore. Like this energy is not going to let us to, it's not going to allow us our security blanket anymore. It's not going to allow us to cope in other ways. And it's definitely not going to allow us to just stagnate this emotional energy inside to where we're not expressing it. It's definitely not. It's making us do the work. Jupiter and Scorpio is making us do the work. It's like you cannot move forward until you're just real with yourself, straight up. Like no more being inauthentic, especially within your relationships, especially with your family, with Cancer season. So we also have a water trine, and so that's a real big thing too. With Jupiter and Scorpio, like I mentioned, Neptune and Pisces, paying attention to your dreams, people. Please do, because right now, Neptune and Pisces, wow, okay. So it's been in Pisces for a little bit, but since in it is in trine with the moon, we really want to pay attention to our dreams and how they're showing up for us as messengers and as clues as to what we need to heal within our past, within our emotional bodies, and the way that we really feel subconsciously. We also have, the sun and the moon in Cancer. So that's in direct trine with Jupiter doing the crazy scorpionic traumatic work, and then your dreams with Pisces. How are you using your dreams and that emotional energy and that psychic energy for the betterment of your spiritual journey? And it's just all coming together. It is just all coming together. This is a great moon. Woo! Last moon, Sagittarius, had me just, I don't know, I was feeling so much and I really didn't expect it. I thought the Scorpio moon before that was going to take me so much, like, beyond, and then the Sagittarius hit me in the face like that, literally, and I was just like, didn't not really understand what I was experiencing, but I kind of did at the same time. It was just really strange that I've went through that on a Sag moon, let's just say that. And now for the Cancer moon, I'm really feeling more self-nourishing. I'm feeling more self-care and also care for my friends. I'm trying to really pinpoint where some of this emotional energy is coming up for me, but I feel like it's really important for a lot of us to be patient with ourselves too, and to allow, just to allow to go with the flow and allow the universe to show its colors for us, because that's all we can really do is to just be patient with ourselves and to the way we're feeling, and to not judge ourselves for the way we're feeling, or judge ourselves for the experience that we have had here down on planet Earth. So I'm going to pull a card out of this new deck that I got from one of my friends. Her name's Maheen. Shout out to Maheen if you're watching this. And I really like these cards because they give you a conscious thinking process, and then they also say the opposite of, like, maybe like a detrimental thinking process that is not so good, and then they give you, the conscious one. It's like the one that you should probably be focusing on. So right now I'm just going to tune in and ask Spirit to shed some light on some of our thinking processes as a collective, or maybe just for this new moon. I mean, maybe it could be my own, I don't know. But I'm just going to pull one because I really love these cards and I want to share them with you all. They actually have Mona Lisa on them, and the creator is Mona Lisa Schultz. That's why it has Mona Lisa on there. She's a psychiatrist. She's also a tarot reader, which I think is pretty awesome. And I'm gonna pull this one. All right, so this one I pulled says healthy relationships. It says, I love with wisdom. I nurture and support others as much as I nurture and support myself. Now this is the healthy thing, or this is the healthy thinking process. And the not so healthy thinking process is, I'm not valuable unless I'm taking care of someone else's needs. That is such a Cancer thing to say. Cancer wants to be there for anybody. They want to nurture others. They want to be that friend, that giving hand. And a lot of times this is without considering its own needs, without considering its own self-care, and playing the victim, like, I gave all that to you and you didn't do this to me. That's a Cancer thing. So instead of thinking that we're not valuable unless we are taking care of someone else's needs, we can flip the script and say, I love with wisdom. I nurture and support others as much as I nurture and support myself. Nice. And here's another one that I pulled. The negative thinking quality is, I'm afraid of change. The positive, if necessary, I am willing to let go of an old identity, lifestyle, relationship, or career so I can grow and develop my potential. Every ending is an opportunity for something new to emerge. That sounds about right for a solar eclipse. This could be an identity, this could be a relationship, a job, anything that just needs to detox out of your life. Oh, here's a good one. I can't tolerate pain and unpleasant feelings. Negative thinking. And here's the positive thinking. With the help of a good coach, I can set goals and strive for success. This will lessen my pain and make me feel more in comfort or in control. That's a really good one, because when Cancer season rolls around at times, or if you're someone who has a lot of Cancer energy, at times we feel fearful of feeling. We feel fearful of pain, and we feel like we can't tolerate these unpleasant feelings, like the card said, and we hold it in. We think that we're going to expose more hurt and more pain if we let it out. So instead we let it in. So not only is this going to cause more trouble on the emotional field, but it's also going to cause a lot of pain in the physical field and with the chakra system as well. You're going to be stagnating the openness of your chakras, but also you can create disease or illness if you're not letting this emotional energy take its course, or the way that it wants to take course. And so this card is talking about how at times we should ask for help. If we don't know how to deal with our emotions, if we don't know how to express our emotions in a healthy way, ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help, because not everybody knows everything, and just because we're humans and we have these emotions, and to everybody it seems like it's a ball game that we should just know how to deal with them. Emotions are fucking hard, okay? And we shouldn't ever feel that, that other people are going to judge us because of the way that we feel. I feel like emotional energy is a process, a learning process here down on earth, here as being a human, and not everybody has their full grasp on controlling their emotions or even expressing them. So asking for help and, taking in the knowledge or experience from others might be beneficial if you are someone who is dealing with emotional confrontation within yourself. So I'm so happy that you decided to check out my video. I hope you have a wonderful solar eclipse and new moon, and that has shined much light on the parts of your soul that need to be healed the most. And yeah, love and light to you all. Namaste, and have a good one.